Before we go to the solution, let's just say that education did not start going down the last 5 months that Kenya Kwanza government has been in office. Some, when we get to such a point, we have to just now start thinking of innovations. The way universities were set up was right, and I want to agree with the Honorable Mbui that there was a time that we got these things right. Some, if you remember, back in the past, any university that was set up came with a special purpose. You knew Jomo Kenyatta University was technology in agriculture. You knew KU was a training ground for teachers. You knew professionals were trained in UON. You knew if you go to Egerton, you will find agriculturalists. Today, universities have diverted from their core business and they've gone to commercializing programs to a point where a university that would have specifically been a science research university is today offering diplomas in whatever you can imagine. So with the setup of the university, the whole university framework needs rethinking. Going forward, the cost of university education shall not be mitigated by increasing school fees. It shall actually be sorted by going into innovation. This whole drive of an open university ought to be considered very seriously. With the technology available today, with the digital literacy at the levels that we have them at in Kenya, today you can imagine anyone around the country is using USSD codes to access their financial services through services like M-Pesa, meaning that we are a very digitally illiterate population. How about we start thinking about moving university education away from the brick and mortar monuments of constructions built in so elaborate ways, but becoming such a big expense for universities, they're not even able to pay for the loans that they took to build these buildings. Why don't we move this education out of these buildings and into technology where a student will affordably be able to take up tuition without the extra costs of the other added costs of boarding, accommodation, services that go into paying subordinate staff and so on. Look at the costs, at the expenditure in universities. You will be shocked. The biggest sum of monies is utilized not for the core function of instruction and learning. It is used for support services. You go into a university, you will find that the lecturer is pushed to a small, nasty, dirty corner somewhere in a department, while the most elaborate building, massive, beautiful building, is housing people called administrators. They're administrating the education of the student and the teaching of the lecturer. The lecturer ends up not getting paid his fees, but the administration block, the way you see it looking resplendent, even the people inside there doing the administration are better taken care of than even the core business of the lecturer. So the model of the university has to be reimagined, and it has to be reimagined in line with the aspirations of a country. If we want to go into manufacturing, if we want to go to value addition, then let's have TVETs, tertiary college, universities that are aligning to the core business that we have called our aspiration as a country.
But Honorable Kiarie, what are your thoughts? Because yes, we can do all that, but still you find there's a serious difficulty in learners accessing education because they can't pay for it. And it's becoming unsustainable because we have so many stories that we tell every day on Citizen TV of learners that need help. But this is just a very small percentage of the situation in the country.
That's why I'm opening your mind to innovation. The Open University, for example...
I'm talking about even the lower levels of education.
Yes,
secondary school.
I'll get down to that.
Yeah.
If you have aspirations as a country, you know what the university needs to produce. So now you align the university to what is intended for market. If you know what the university needs, then the high school shall start preparing a student for the courses that are being offered at the university. Now, at high school level, you might even think of separating academics with the skills development, so that you might in future see the return of technical schools. In places where they are going ahead with technology, you find that the technical high schools are even way more attractive than the academic high schools. Because today in Kenya, all we are trying to do is produce white-collar professionals for jobs that do not exist. So we'll have to realign our education to the aspirations that we have as a country. And this idea I'm talking about, the Open University, it is not KJ, the chairman of Committee of Information and Innovation, who is pushing for an open university just as a castle being built in the air. Just look across the border and see what the Open University of Tanzania is doing in terms of solving the problems of education in that country. Just look at any open university anywhere around the country, around the continent. In Nigeria, the open universities in Nigeria is doing amazing work. Globally, there are good examples of open universities that are doing extremely well in aligning the training and the learning to the aspirations of the country affordably, where education finds the student, not the student going to seek education in positions that are not available. I hear you, Honorable KJ. Let's just call it that, John Kiarie. But you are asking for solutions. I think the innovation is the way to go for education.